from wherever you are watching. Side-by-side battle for second. Dylan Voss and Chad Gross battling back and forth. Dylan Voss was leading this race for just a short, brief time before getting passed by Adam Thomsen about a lap later. So, but we are live at this point. We will not be able to get everybody back, but there we go. There's the timing on your screen. Side-by-side battle for the race lead down the front straight this time of this 50-lap race. Lap number 7, now lap 8. Now Jake Ham moving his way up into fourth, up 6 spots since the drop of the green flag. He is somebody who is, shall we say, trying to contend for the title. If he wins this race, he will be within touching distance of Adam Thomsen, but Adam Thomsen's had some very good finishes in the last several weeks. Has finished second and third in XSLR in the 87 NASCAR Cup car. And tonight he needs a big performance, but he has his title rival now in third. There are the lap times currently. Matt Lass running the fastest lap time of 42.851 in the 11th spot. We'll go through some of the drivers here this evening. Adam Thomsen, of course, our championship point leader. Chad Gross, who's sitting in second. Our second place runner in the championship and currently third on the grid is Jake Ham. Tyler Brown, who sits fourth right now. And Dylan Voss, who was leading at one point, and smacks the wall there and is continuing to drop back. Andy Kosick and Kevin Irwin. Kevin Irwin, of course, in the cheese car. And Derek Folk, don't forget about him. Brad Cathcart has made his return here to XSLR. Jason Greider's here tonight. Matt Lass. And, of course, Slow Trickle, hashtag or slash Charles Bochelle, who is with us here tonight. So, and that is a look through the running order as well as our participating drivers. Adam Thomsen still leading out in front. He has led only 7 laps actually, really. Has not led the whole entire race. Had Dylan Voss out in front as he fell back. On nice little nose cam shot here from Tyler Brown's perspective. Looking at Jake Ham. Jake Ham's going to have a very patient race. I will say he started in the 7th, got on his high horse and went. But now he's got to play that long game. But he got a little bit shuffled out there. Looked like Tyler Brown was going to be making a move. And a little bit of a weave and a bobble there by the 85 of Jake Ham as he gets himself resettled back in. And everybody's still single file. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 covered by a blanket of just less than a second. Now, what will be interesting here, Josh, is, of course, the pit stops. When we get to the pit cycles around Daytona International Speedway, pit entry comes up quite quick. Of course, it's a narrower track, so I think we're going to be in for some carnage like we saw last week at Talladega.
Yeah, that Talladega pit entrance definitely caught a few people out for sure. Definitely apologize here for some of our technical issues early on, but we're live here now. I think that's going to be a big one for sure. You just really got to get it right. It's so easy to overspeed into the pit lane here, especially when you're obviously traveling so quickly and then you're using, well, basically drum brakes or something like that on these. I barely think they have brakes at all. So hopefully they've done a little bit of practice. I think that was probably the problem last time there, as we had some drivers who just didn't practice that pit entrance enough, and a couple people got caught out. But I think we'll probably see a bit of a cleaner round of pit stops this time, Adam.
Well, it's still single filed through the top 6 in the field. Adam Thomsen, Chad Gross, Jake Ham, Tyler Brown, Dylan Voss, and Derek Folk, all covered by just less than half of a second. And good run here for the 19 of Dylan Voss. He wants to go back out on front. Gets a nice little run now side by side with Jake Ham on his inside. That 85 car, though, gets a good run through turns 3 and 4. Nope, 1 and 2. I got to make sure I'm where I'm at. And you can see now the field kind of separates a little bit, but it's a concertina effect. You'll see these guys separate a little bit, then they'll get right back together. That's what these cars can do. They're a little bit of pack racing. Of course, you're not going to be on the gas the entire time. throw out Daytona International Speedway in the 87 NASCAR Cup car, you're going to be lifting quite a bit because these cars like the track upwards on the banked corners, very high bank corners at Daytona. Jake Ham actually going to move up another spot, moves into second, and now right on his championship rival of Adam Thomsen. And he might, if I was him, I would give him a nice little nudge and say, hello, I'm here. and that's exactly what he does. Gives him a nice, just a little push down the back straight. Knocks on the panel and says, hello, your championship rival is right behind you, looking for another race win to make it 3 in a row. One thing about J-Cam dominated the dirt oval portion of the XSLR season here in season number 9. And here he is again, dominating on the ovals. He seems like to be a pretty good oval racer, Josh.
Yeah, I think he's definitely got some pretty good oval chops. Can't remember if he said actually he wasn't so good at these things. Well, it doesn't seem to be affecting him too much here at Daytona at the moment. So definitely good in a few different types of machinery there. He's definitely right up the back of Adam Thomsen here. And, you know, I was under the impression that these things didn't really bump draft like that very well, Adam. I'm assuming that you just got to be really careful doing that. A bit of an upturned rear end on them. I figured you just kind of get up underneath the guy and spin him.
Well, you can. You just got to be careful in how you approach the back of the car because the downforce, the rear downforce of these cars are pretty much non-existent. It's there, but it's not. And not like in today's Cup car, which has a rear diffuser and a big old spoiler on it. These cars, pretty much the only downforce they got is that rear spoiler. So you have to be ultra careful, very ultra careful when you get into somebody, and Jake Ham did it perfectly. Now Thomsen slides up the racetrack and unable to make the move happen for Jake Ham. Jake Ham was looking maybe down the inside, but he's staying right in the draft, right in the toe here. This is old style super speedway racing. Single file. Get to the guy, you know, get to his rear bumper a little bit. You give him a nice little love tap. That's what you can, that's about as much as you can do in these cars. It's just a lovey tap. So, because if you do anything else, you're going to be spinning the guy around and you may be taking yourself with you. Now, that's a Dale Earnhardt move right there. Shove Thomsen up the track and Jake Ham takes the race lead. That was absolutely beautiful right there by Jake Ham. Just gave him a nice tap into the corner, forced Adam Thomsen up wide, and that is all she wrote. There's the pass right there down the inside. Adam Thomsen just had to hang on for dear life there and just allow everybody to go around him, and he'll slot back into the 5th position. So, and this is what exactly Jake Ham needs. He needs Adam Thomsen to actually not finish on the podium tonight to really make this a championship fight as we get ready for Pocono here in a couple of weeks. There's Jake Ham still out in front. In second, it's Tyler Brown. Third, Dylan Voss. Let's look further back at some of the other cars. Further back away from this lead pack, Chad Gross, Brad Cathcart. So there's Andrew Kosick. Andy Kosick further back here, just trying to stick with the pack here. And now we got a battle here side by side. This is now for the 6th spot, and Adam Thomsen's going to lose out on that one as well. So now Adam Thomsen went from the lead all the way down to 6th. He has lost 5 spots officially at this point. And he's just going to have to find a way. 212 miles per hour. And you can hear that lift.
Whoa.
You know, you got to lift to get into the corner. Then you're back on the throttle once that car really settles down, because this the way that these cars are designed and the way that they interact with this kind of racing. You can't just put your foot to the floor and you're going racing. You know, not like in the current Cup car, not in really any other generation of Cup cars. Even in the car of tomorrow, you could really do a good job, but those things had very high downforce on the front and the rear. These cars just have hardly any of that downforce, and when you're in dirty air, that downforce just gets so much more less. So, and it's not one of the situations where less is more. This is one of the situations that less is zero, pretty
less
much.
Is scary.
So,
yeah, less gets scary, I would imagine. And yeah, that invisible force that's keeping you safe into the corners and stuff just kind of comes off you. I have felt it a little bit in iRacing, doing a little bit of open wheel racing and stuff, and messed around in these a little bit. You gotta love when they lift too, that snap, crackle, and pop from the engine and everything as well. These things just sound amazing. Super fun car to drive, but yeah, I'm actually a little surprised how much they do actually have to lift. Their car gets pretty loose, and then you're just kind of guiding it around and through the corner, back on the throttle, nice and smooth, and doing a pretty good job out there so far, keeping everything clean. Looks like Adam Thomsen pushing, I believe that's Chad Gross, down the track.
Of course, you can push down the straightaway, but do not push in the corners. That's where disaster can happen. And the question is, will we see the big one? We haven't had a big crash yet in this series that has taken out the field. Now, not Adam Thomsen, Jake Cam having to get around some lap traffic. That is the 11th place runner of Matt Last, the 98 car. And he is doing a good job getting out of the way. I don't think he was expecting Dylan Voss to be up there on the second groove, but he was there. And finally, and is not able to get back in line. Thomsen from 6th to 4th now. And Voss will just slot in behind. That was awfully tight. Looked like almost some near contact between Thomsen and Voss. Talking with Adam Thomsen earlier.
Oh, let's get contentious there. That was really close. Good eye. Yeah, on the, I believe that is Voss just behind Adam there. Just kind of playing peekaboo on the inside quarter panel there. That can get, that can be disaster really fast. You don't get that just right.
Yep, it was very close, but Voss is able to tuck in. One of the big things, I was talking with Adam Thomsen earlier this week, and we talked about his races, and hello.
Ooh,
didn't realize that we could just, we got right in there. We got a 3D view of that.
You got Adam Thomsen skirt there a little.
He wasn't just sniffing the back bumper there, Josh. He was all in it. So.
That's all right. Facing super realistic stuff there. Oh, Voss takes up the inside of Adam, shoots him definitely wide there. Whoa, out into the wall. He's going to move some time there. And big one, Chad Gross on the inside.
He saves it. No, he doesn't save it.
He's saving it. He's still saving it.
He's not going to save it. No.
A salacious hit there. Who was that who plowed into him? That is going to be a big one. You can see him just dragging down track. That's going to be Jason Grider in the 552 car. Absolutely nowhere to go there on Chad Gross. That was a massive hit, Adam.
That was a huge hit, and unfortunate. These cars do not turn on a dime. They're not very nimble, and there was nothing that Grider could do because he probably was thinking the same way I would be thinking. Where is he going to go? Is he going to go sliding up farther up the track, or is he going to head down? Let's take a look exactly at what caused that moment.
Yeah, let's see if we can't reel that back here, Adam, and we'll see if we can't get a bit of a better shot from a bit farther back on that one with this replay here. I think we're still having some technical issues here, so we do apologize for that. There we go. There's a big hit. We'll see if we can get an onboard with Jason Grider here.
Well, if we could go back to the start of that incident, I mean,
yeah,
that
absolutely.
would be.
See if we can get Chad Gross here. Yeah, having some sort of an issue this evening with SDK here. Doesn't really want to work super well for me, but we're going to push through. Hopefully we will get a better replay here of Chad Gross and just exactly how that was set off. I'm just going to back it up a little bit because it doesn't want to play ball with me here. Our event viewer, even though I've changed it to give me about 8 seconds of a buffer before an accident, just is not responding to me. So we will see exactly how that happened. It looks like the number 19 just getting into the back of the number 28 there, mid-corner after that pretty ambitious move, I'd say, up the inside of Adam Thomsen. So we'll jump on board here.
So let's just take a look.
19.
They're coming to the tri-oval here. And the one thing about the tri-oval is that it's basically another corner. It is banked. There is a lot that can go on through the tri-oval. Chad, the 19 of Dylan Voss, good run, gets down the inside and just makes some slight contact at the exit of the tri-oval. Gets Chad Gross out of shape. Now go back to Chad Gross here. Let's see if he, look at this. I thought he saved this for a moment and then he's in the grass.
He almost had it saved there, yeah. Oh, and then massive hit from Jason Grider. Just had nowhere to go, unfortunately. Yeah, that was a big one, and definitely almost a heroic save there out of Chad Gross.
Yeah,
we just got a round of pit stops there.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. How many pitters? Well, pretty much everybody came in there. We had Jay Cam, Tyler Brown, Dylan Voss. Brad Cathcart did not pit. He pitted earlier, and he actually gets up into the 4th spot. And Andy Kosick moves up into 5th. So let's see here. Yep, Thomsen's there. Jay Cam is there. Tyler Brown is there. And Andy Kosick did pit. Same with Charles Bochelle. So a lot of pitters.
I fixed my event viewer. There we go. We should have proper replays from here on out. Right on. Things are happening here. It's been a bit of a janky evening so far, but race is looking pretty good here. Race is not janky at all, actually. We're looking pretty good. Looks like everybody kind of hit their box pretty well there. I don't see anybody missing a box.
Yep, no, everybody got in and out pretty quick.
Oh, that 552 just damn out on the right front corner.
It looks like Adam Thomsen had a penalty along with Derek Folk.
I think you're right. Yep. Yeah, they are going to be a little longer in the box here by the looks of it. It's just getting down now while everybody else is leaving. These other tires up there on the left-hand side. Still in the box. Yeah, that's a little bit painful there for Adam Thomsen, I believe. Kind of bad to worse here. Unfortunately, he was making a little bit of headway there, but it looks like he's going to have some more time to make up from that pit stop, as well as, who are you mentioning there as well? Looks like got another penalty.
Yep, another one was Derek Folk. So Derek Folk had a -1 pit lane time, along with Adam Thomsen, a 1:03 pit lane time. So something has gone horribly wrong for both those drivers. But for Jay Cam, this is exactly, you're going, thank you, Lord, please continue this on. We'll see if we can see any
kind of an infraction here. It looks like they're slowed up enough. Nobody's rushing the pit lane here, so that's not where it happened. Interesting.
Well, let's see what happens when Thomsen gets into his pit box here, because that is what will tell us the full story. Gets into this pit box and all right. Well, he may have taken more fuel, maybe.
I'm not sure. Inconclusive, but he's definitely pushed him back in the field now, so he's going to be bringing around pretty much the back of the pack of the lead drivers here. We've got enough time to make it up to the front again if you can kind of get the pedal down here and have some good luck. But yeah, that's going to be a bit of a rough one for that pit stop there. I'll have to maybe have a talk with him after there and see exactly what happened. But pace car's in.
Pace car is in, and we are green. Back to racing here at XSLR, broadcasting live on Slow Motion Broadcasting. Good start there by both the front row, along with Dylan Voss, the top three, getting away quickly. And Jay Cam will just lead this pack away. He's going to slide up the track here, but he can't slide up too hard because Tyler Brown is there. There's the 905 of Brad Cathcart driving toward the one of two Fords in the field. Andy Kosick is in a Pontiac and Dylan Voss in the Buick. So a little bit of differences, but majority of drivers is driving the Chevy, just like what we see in today's NASCAR. Little shot there at Ford. And if you notice, actually, there isn't even a Ford in the top five. So guess they're having a little bit of trouble there. Makes sense. Found on the roadside dead or fixed or repaired daily. But the Chevy is out there in front of J Cam. J Cam getting a nice little push here by the 19 of Dylan Voss. But now Dylan Voss maybe looking to eye a move here. And he is side by side. He now takes the race lead by a couple of car lengths now, about 4 car lengths separating Dylan Voss and J Cam. But that's all right. J Cam, he is somebody who plays the long game. He is very good at the long game, just making his way forward. Doesn't have to do too much. So he's going to be fine. He will get that lead back, but now he's on the back bumper of Voss.
Ooh,
Gets him
a little bit loose
out of
for
shape.
Voss there. Oh, it's a close one. Able to pin it back down, though, so that's a pretty good one there. Was that from a touch, or did he just get loose on his own? I couldn't quite tell on that one if he got a bump there or not.
It was a 50-50, I think, in that situation. The air coming off the back of the spoiler and having the lift. And
little of column B.
Yeah, just a little bit of probably both. But now Voss getting a little bit of separation from J Cam, and J Cam under threat. And there's the Kevin Irwin, the cheese car. He is on his way trying to get by the 28 car of Chad Gross, who is a lap down. So that is not Adam Thomsen in that 28 car. That is Chad Gross, who was involved in the incident that brought out our first caution of the race, lap 31 of 50. And now here we go for J Cam. He moves to the outside here. Can he make the move stick? No, he can't, so he'll tuck back in. And now again, gets that draft, gets a little momentum going, but through the tri-oval this time. Being on that high side in the tri-oval is actually probably the best. And he finally regains the lead, but guess what? Dylan Voss is not going anywhere later. Throttle time there for Dylan Voss as he goes back out to the race lead. J Cam won't be falling back down to second. You can just see it. Like, look at this. This is Andy Kostick. This is the inside of the Pontiac. And again, look at those gauges. I mean, that's all you had back in 1987. You didn't have speedometers. You didn't have this electronic display. You had a mirror, an RPM gauge, a fuel gauge, an oil pressure gauge, a battery gauge. It's, this is
a big red light to tell you if something's going wrong, a big green one to let you know everything's going good, and that's all you need.
If you haven't already, if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, I highly recommend watching the Earnhardt docuseries that's on there. Very well produced by Dirty Well Media and Dale Earnhardt and Amazon Prime. It's absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend watching it, especially if you want to learn the history of NASCAR, especially in this time frame, because Dale Earnhardt was driving these cars. He was actually 10 years into his NASCAR Cup career in this car.
Wow.
So that should tell you something. Back then, drivers drove forever. You had Dale Earnhardt, who passed away in 2001, but his first ever season, which was not the number 3 car, it was the Wrangler number 2 car that he drove. He drove that in 1977.
I wasn't even around yet.
Yep, a lot of us weren't around yet. And his very first Cup win came in 1977, was Rookie of the Year. Of course, cars were built a lot different back then. The names like Darrell Waltrip, who are still racing at this point. Darrell Waltrip had been around for years at this point. I think it was like his 15th or 16th season in Cup, racing in NASCAR. Then also Cale Yarborough. There was just so many different names that came through in these types of cars that it's unbelievable. I wish NASCAR would iRacing would go back another 10 years. Let's get these 77 cars out there
Yep, me too.
Oh,
Sports car
man.
stuff too would just be great. Get some old Can-Am stuff in there. Oh, I would love it. You know, one of those old, actually, I know you don't like the Fords there, but the old Ford Capri, the old sports car, what an amazing machine that used to be. And along with the other Can-Am vehicles, just so awesome. I miss that era quite a bit.
As the lead commentator for this broadcast,
there will be no Fords.
Refer to Ford as fixed or repaired daily.
I don't really have too much of a preference there. I personally own a Dodge. I don't know if that puts me in some kind of a weird category, but I just use trucks till they blow up, kind of thing. I got a couple Fords, have a couple Dodges. Liked them both so far. Haven't had a Chevy yet. Nice looking vehicles though.
See, Dodge is actually returning to NASCAR. They're going to be fielding a couple of trucks in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Not so good news, but good news.
Next year, so good to see them back. And you know, NASCAR's been longing and yearning for a new manufacturer to join the ranks of the Cup Series, and maybe this is a step forward in that direction. Also announced in NASCAR, increase in horsepower is a possibility potentially this year, but most likely next year. So the 670 horsepower going to be bumped up to about 750, 800 is what I have read, which, you know, is better than what we got now. So Jake Cam, still your race leader, doing a great job defending. Dylan Voss has been riding that top lane, and he finally tucks in. Actually, I'm surprised he was able to tuck in there. That had to have been close, because Tyler Brown was right there. He was right there.
Sheet of paper close for sure. My camera was pretty zoomed in there, and it looked pretty close for sure. I just sort of got him sweep across the bumper of Jake Ham there, and yeah, he's definitely got a pretty good spatial awareness as to where that bumper is, because he definitely, if you came down with that kind of force, you definitely spin him out. So, about as close as you want to make it there, I think.
Well, right now, Adam Thomsen, who restarted in the 7th spot, has now moved up into the 4th spot. Just trying to make his way forward here.
Low Trickle with the fastest lap. Should mention, sorry to cut you in there, but I just noticed Slow Trickle with the fastest lap, not so slow out there. Hopefully he can kind of bring some speed up here, grab the rest of the pack and get in with it. Not sure if he's just biding his time, but good lap from Slow.
So is he slow trickle, or is he now fast trickle?
He's runny. Yeah, what would you call that? What would the opposite be? Runny something?
I don't know.
Trying to put you on the spot there, Adam, but
you said
his name is Slow Trickle, the thesaurus here, if I could say it.
That's the complete opposite.
There you go. That's fair. There you go. Sure. Trying to pull some more, pull the thesaurus out here and get some big words, but I think that'll cover it. That'll cover it.
Speedy trickle.
There you go. We'll go with fast.
Fast, all right. Fast trickle with the fastest lap time. Jake Ham, though, controlling the pace. Not defending, while Tyler Brown does get around Voss. As Voss has fallen back down to 4th, and that puts Thomsen into 3rd. And everybody just, again, now we're in the last 10 laps here. Remember last week, tight finish in Talladega. And you can actually see the short of that on the YouTube page. After this race, you can see how that race finished. It was tight. It was very, very tight.
I think we're in for the same thing today, I think, is what we're in for. I think we're going to have another very similar finish here. Guy in the front's just got to have a bullseye on his back at the moment. It's going to be hard for Jake Ham to stay up there, I think. But yeah, I'm predicting another real close one here.
What's nice about this track, it's much more narrower. So you won't be seeing 3, 4, 5 wide finishes here. Adam Thomsen does move to the top side of the racetrack, trying to get around Tyler Brown, but it might not be enough. Adam Thomsen does have the spot, but question is, he doesn't have the numbers. No.
Hanging tough up there for now. Getting nice and close. That can't be the fastest line, but perhaps you can pinch him down a little bit of contact there, I think, between the two vehicles there, but able to hold on to it from the outside. I'm not sure if he's helping with a little side draft there or a little push, but Oh yeah, he's getting a
Well,
little
he's got
push
a
from the
push.
19 behind for sure there. We couldn't see him, but yeah, it has. We're getting into the wee hours now, and this is when you want to either probably make a buddy here and then cast that buddy aside in the last lap and go for it. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing here. You got to find a partner. Oh boy.
I mean, if we're go a little too early there.
I thought they were three wide there for a second.
Well,
I thought we were going 3 wide, not quite.
Adam Thomsen, the league admin, of course, he's not going to have any friends. You can see Jake Ham. He's got all the friends in the world he needs. He's got 6 cars behind him. We're going to try and help him out, but Dylan Voss goes back up to the top side of the track to go help Thomsen get out in front and potentially get around him as well. But the 821 of Tyler Brown right onto the back bumper of Jake Ham, really helping Jake Ham out there on the inside line. We have 8 laps to go here at Daytona International Speedway, located in Daytona Beach, Florida. Of course, again, home of the Daytona 500, the first race of the year in the NASCAR world. And then, of course, is the last race of the regular season with the Coke 0400 in August. So, of course, last year we saw Harrison Burton win at Daytona in the Coke 0400. William Byron, back-to-back Daytona 500 champion. Names are made at these types of super speedways. Another name to mention in the ARCA series, Butterbean Brendan Queen. His first start in an ARCA car in the National ARCA Touring Series. He goes out and wins at Daytona. Came from the car's late model stock tour. Obviously had a lot of backing, big Waffle House fan, and he was able to run up front. He was actually teammates with Helio Castroneves in that race, who Helio has never driven a stock car before. And wow, 3 wide there by Dylan Voss. Shuffles out. Adam Thomsen back down to the low side. He goes, but Dylan Voss had a good run, but that run is going to fizzle out. Now he's going to try and time this up, but Adam Thomsen is going to deny him that 3rd spot down on the low side, and now side by side here. 5 laps to go when they cross this time.
It's kind of anybody's race at this point, I think, in this top 5 or 6 cars. You know, I should mention here Andy Kosick doing really well this race as well. He's kind of had some bad luck here and there. We see the 19 getting loose, able to hold on to it. Yeah, but Andy Kosick doing real well today. He's kind of here just biding his time in the Tweety Bird car there, having a look. I wouldn't be surprised here if he's able to monopolize on some positions before the end of the race.
Well, here we go. This is the closing stages of XSLR at Daytona International Speedway. Broadcasting live worldwide on YouTube on the Slow Motion Broadcasting YouTube channel. We hope you have enjoyed the coverage. Again, we apologize for the delayed start of our broadcast today. Just some technical difficulties getting on air. But we told you we would bring you coverage anyway, and we're here for you. Just give us a nice subscribe and like this video if you love seeing this kind of racing action here. That's on Slow Motion Broadcasting. 1, 2, 3, and 4 separated now by just less than a second. And now 1, 2, and 3 sticking together here. Dylan Voss loses the pack. Here we go. 4 laps to go here at Daytona. Jake Ham wins this. This would be an absolute huge bounce in the championship, especially right now. Finishing 4th would mean we got to go to the GT3s in 2 weeks to really sort out what's going to happen in the championship. But if you're Jake Ham right now, you're getting a little bit nervous with that 19 on your door. Dylan Voss back out in front for just a brief second. They're still side by side, wheel to wheel, not Hoosier to Hoosier, but wheel to wheel down the front back straight. We're going to come to 2 to go this time, and everybody is just trying to get a win. Can they dethrone Jake Ham? And Adam Thomsen makes his way forward to the 2nd spot now. Is he in for a chance to win? If Adam Thomsen wins, it's now an uphill climb for the championship 2nd place runner of Jake Ham. But Dylan Voss gets a good run again around the outside, but has no help. still, everybody, side by side. This is going to be pandemonium. I can see Adam Thomsen, if the time is right, he may take this 3 wide. Next lap will be the white flag. The next lap that comes out ends the race. Here we go. Jake Ham battling against his championship rival who's leading the championship. Adam Thomsen thought about making a move up high. Gets back into it. Gets a little bit sideways. Saves it. And white flag one more time around. Can Jake Ham go 3 in a row here? Single file with the top 3. Dylan Voss is still in the contention here. Oh, and Tyler Brown gets touched by Kosick, and Kosick goes around as well. But we're still out in front. Adam Thomsen goes out to the high side. Dylan Voss trying to make his way through. It's not going to happen. It's side by side for the race win between our 2 championship contenders. Jake Ham right just has a fender out in front. Here they come through turn number 4, shooting down the tri-oval. This is going to be an incredible finish. Who's going to get there first? It's going to be Jake Ham who gets the win.
Photo finish for Jake Ham. Amazing final lap there for sure. Lost a couple drivers right at the end. We'll have to go back and have a quick peek at exactly what happened there. Somebody hitting the wall super hard, but just a drag race to the line. Jake Ham taking another one at him.
Jake Ham, 2 back-to-back weeks of just having to keep his foot on the floor and getting to the checkered flag first in a .012 of a second gap. That's 12 thousandths. And again, Adam Thomsen comes up short once again in the 87 Cup car. That makes it 3 in a row here for Jake Ham in this car. Man, there's Tyler Brown. He had a little bit of an incident there. Got bumped by Kosick, I think. Or let's see what actually happened here, because it just seemed like a whole lot of messiness going on. You had the 905 of Brad Cathcart. And this is where it really all begins. Tyler Brown is that white and red car. Gets, Kosick underneath. Gets underneath Tyler Brown. Makes contact. Then goes up. Takes out Cathcart. And just like that for Tyler Brown, who was once a contender in this race, out. And now let's take a look at that finish. You can see Adam Thomsen just had a nose out in front, but Jake Ham faster into the throttle through 3 and 4. The momentum, though, going towards Adam Thomsen down the front, straight into the tri-oval. Both giving each other space, and luckily, look at that. That is just by just the front fender at the line.
Another amazing finish. Kind of predicted that one for sure. Jake Ham really doing well on the ovals there, and Adam Thomsen as well to bring those positions back into play for himself. Kind of having a little bit of bad luck early on there, and then bad pit stop as well, but still be able to get out to the front and contest for the win there. Pretty awesome race and great showing from everyone.
Very good showing by everyone. And the best part is we get to talk to our top 3 after that amazing finish of a race. We'll talk to our 3rd place runner. Actually, no, look, there he is. Never mind. We'll go to our race winner, Jake Ham. Jake Ham, our race winner once again. Jake, 3 in a row in the 87 Cup car. And 2 back-to-back weeks where the finishing order was within just a few thousandths of a second by each other.
What a barn burner.
It was an absolute barn burner.
Fantastic.
You had to feel kind of nervous though. Kind of nervous in the car a little bit there as you saw Adam Thomsen's front bumper right there next to you.
Oh yeah, I thought there at the end, I appreciate everybody keeping it super respectful there. You know, Dylan took it down and dove to go on my inside. I was able to, get him blocked in time. It ended up working out really good. probably the last 10 to 12 laps. I don't know that I was full throttle ever at any point in time. I felt like I did a really good job managing Tyler behind me and Adam once he got behind me, Tyler moved out of the way, but keeping Adam next to Dylan so that way he couldn't get a run. There, the last couple laps, Adam kind of tried to back off in the corner a little bit to get a good run, so I woed it up a little bit too, just kept them side by side, and it ended up working out. I'm pretty pleased. That was probably one of the funnest runs I've had in a while.
Well, it was fun. It was an enjoyable race to watch. What happened in qualifying? You started in 11th and you win the race.
Yeah, I did a really good out lap up around the top, kept good speed. As I was coming to the line just before the tri-oval, I just barely nicked the wall and it gave me the 0x. And so it just, I didn't get to count my lap, and definitely was not on purpose. Probably be some controversy around that with Tyler and I starting next to each other, but there absolutely was not. Tyler just did a phenomenal night tonight pushing, and he's probably setting me up there for the end, but at the end of the day, it worked out really well.
Well, congratulations on your race win. That's 3 in a row. And in 2 weeks, we head to Pocono. Who would you like to thank for getting you into victory lane tonight?
Yeah, it's a huge shout out to all the friends and fam that stopped by the broadcast. I'd love to go back and watch it too. And then you guys for hosting slow motion broadcasting, XSLR, Adam, with the league that we're in. We've had some new people drop in, and it's been a great time. The new people that are running, making it a little bit more challenging, and looking forward to the rest of the season and taking home the win.
Well, congratulations. You cut into that championship even more, and we'll see you in 2 weeks at Pocono.
Thanks, sir.
Jake Ham, our race winner. Next, we'll talk to the league admin, of course, our second place runner, Adam Thomsen. Adam Thomsen, second place finisher here at XSLR around Daytona International Speedway. Seems like you can't get it done and cross the finish line and get there first, Adam. Kind of an up and down race for you, though. Talk about your race and how it went for you.
Okay, well, first of all, Jake Ham's starting to really piss me off if he keeps winning by freaking 1,000th of a second, whatever the hell he keeps doing. But congrats to Jake, dude. 2 really good races around a super speedway to end like that. Perfect. Chef's kiss. Absolutely love it. So, yeah, great racing by all these guys. But yeah, my race in general. Oh shit, where do I start, Adam? The lap 26, 24 thing brought out the yellow. I was so convinced we were going to have a green flag run that I unchecked tires going into the pits. And then a yellow came out about 15 seconds after I unchecked tires. So when I come into the pits, I'm starting to take fuel. I was like, uh-oh, why are they not changing my tires? And then I looked, they were unchecked. So then I had to check tires. So then those idiots, apparently back in 87, they don't. If you tell them, like, hey, I need tires, they're like, oh, hang on, let me finish my smoke break. We're going to let the guy finish refueling the car, and then we'll come out and change your tires. So car got done refueling, then they changed the tires. I go back out, basically in last place on the lead lap, and had to drive my way back to the front. And man, after that, the rest, as you say, is history, man. I was just trying to hang out at the bottom, maybe trying to figure out where I was going to be able to get around Jake. Him and Tyler were pushing really well together. I didn't have as much help, so I just came down to the wire and basically a hope and a prayer and fell just a little bit short.
Well, it's an unfortunate race, I would say, for you. Again, 3.
If you mention my pit strategy right now, brother.
Pit strategy was good. You came in on the yellow, you didn't speed. So I don't think you could have screwed it up at all.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, looking at the finish here, I mean, you are just right there again. Just couldn't quite get there this time. And, just like last week, just couldn't finish it off. Next 2 weeks or next week, we head to Pocono. That's a much more difficult track than what we've driven on the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Instead of 4 perfectly angled corners, we now have 3 different corners.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is
Exactly.
no turn 4 at Pocono.
Yeah, running at Pocono, corners are obviously a lot flatter than what we've been dealing with. The tunnel turn 2 is going to be treacherous, especially as the tires start to wear out. So we could see some incidents there. But man, the way that all of these guys have been driving, Talladega, Daytona, and then at Charlotte, which was a really true test of skill, to be honest, to put a lot of these people in 87 for the first time they've ever driven one, and how well they did at Charlotte. I was worried about Pocono before we started this 4-race series. I'm not anymore.
Well, it'll sure be interesting to see what happens. I mean, I would love to see a short track, but we might have seen a lot more carnage on a short track.
Listen, Josh is only billing me for an hour, brother. I can't, if we go to a short track, we're going 2 hours easily.
Well, I might owe you after
And of
tonight.
course,
We
don't
came in a
count
bit
the
late
lap.
there this one.
No worries.
Yeah.
Well, who would you like to thank? Of course, getting you this second place finish once again.
You guys, first and foremost, Mr. Wilkie, you, Adam, all of the team over at SMB. I'm slowly weeding myself out of there, and it's great to see where it's going. And I'm glad to see all the new talent coming in on the commentary and the production side. Guido, Mike Braun, JR, Charles Bochelle, obviously Ron Mons. I mean, he doesn't really need any thanks. Everybody knows how he even, I think, knows how good he is. So Keenan, a new guy that I saw in SRG as well. Josh, I know I'm missing a few doing all
I got a new
doing
guy,
all the things back
Marty.
there.
Marty's a new guy. Guido, yep. Yeah, the
Exactly.
whole crew's just amazing for sure. Yep, thank you.
Yeah. Everybody's doing a great freaking job over there. Keep it up, all you guys. And SMB is going to be going places that I don't think I could have even dreamed of. So thank you so much for doing everything you're doing. And big old shout out to my wife, Sarah, sitting out there. She told me I better win tonight. And I might be sleeping on the couch because I didn't.
Oh,
It's
no.
all Jake's fault. But other than that, just anybody watching the streams, I know it's a bit late on the East Coast for people watching these, but anybody tuning in to watch the streams, thank you so much, guys. And yeah, we'll see you maybe next week. I'll have to talk to you about that after here in a couple days, Josh, but or maybe in 2 weeks' time when we're scheduled to race.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Well, congratulations on a second place run, and we'll see you next week or in a couple weeks at Pocono.
Thanks, buddy.
Our second place finisher, our final podium finisher. First time we'll be able to talk to this guy right here. It's Dylan Voss, our third place runner here tonight. Dylan, this is the first time you get to be in the broadcast booth and getting a post-race interview. Talk about that one. You were in contention there at the end, just came up a little short tonight.
Yeah, it's a lot of what could have been, right? It's been I at least kept it entertaining, right?
Definitely.
You sure did. You were actually making some pretty good moves. It seems like you have gotten a pretty good handle of this car, and as well as just your spatial awareness. There was a couple of moves that you made that I thought for sure you were going to take somebody out, but you didn't. You slotted right into a few cars. Just talk about this car in general.
Well, honestly, this car is right up my street. It's hard to drive. You need to know what you're doing. To give you guys some context, I race the Gen 4 Fitch series pretty regularly, and these 87s are just more of that. So the side drafting stuff comes really, really naturally to me. Plus, I've been oval racing for as long as I can remember for all this stuff. So, but yeah, it's fun. It's just listening to I run crew chief, so he is a godsend. I will not run the iRacing one ever since that I've been using crew chief. So there's a couple moves there that I was very, very tight, and I knew I would, but I just used my virtual mirror and just slotted right in there and said, "Okay, guys, trust me."
Well, we go to Pocono next. That's a challenging track with a very difficult car to drive. Are we going to see a Dylan Voss win?
It's I did a couple practice races with these guys, and honestly, it's a long shot. I'll tell you right now. Unless something big happens, just these guys are very, very fast in these things. They race these a lot more than I do, so
well,
it'll be tough though, but it'll be a good watch. It'll definitely be a driver's track. So
All right. Well, final question here for you. Who would you like to thank for getting you to this third place finish here tonight?
Well, I'd like to thank all the guys here at XSLR. These guys are such a fun group of guys to race with, guys and gals to race with. So everything's awesome with them. They've welcomed me with open arms. Great group of people. So I'm just bummed that I missed out so much of the season. The Pro 4s and Pro 4s and dirt sprint cars were like, oh my gosh, I haven't raced those in a while. So it's nice to finally get in and say hey. So, and I'd also like to thank my friends and family, and shout out to my brother Connor Vos, currently in the U.S. Army right now. So go Army, baby.
Well, congratulations on your third place finish, Dylan, and we will see you next week or in a couple weeks at Pocono.
Yeah, for sure, guys. Thanks again for broadcasting. You guys do an awesome job.
Our third place finisher, Dylan Vos. Well, Josh, that brings us to the end of the show here. And of course, we saw a great one here tonight. J Cam gets the win. Of course, we'll have our updated standings next week, hopefully. Yeah, those aren't standings. That's just blank. Cool.
I might be able to actually look some here. I actually thought that was going to work. We're having technical after technical tonight. It's been one of those evenings, but yeah, pretty great show there for sure. On to Pocono. That's going to be a pretty interesting one for everybody, I think. I'm not a super oval guy, but I can tell you that I've tried that Pocono before, and it is not an easy track to drive around. You think it's something like this is going to be easy, and places like that show you really quickly just how easy it is not.
It is not. You have three corners, no turn four. All three corners are completely different from one another, and it has a very long straightaway and a very difficult time around the track. I've driven it around and
there we go.
Different cars. There is the current point standings. Adam Thomsen still leading with 242 points. Jake Cam in second. He's cutting into that gap, but he's got to have a really good finish again next week and hope that and Adam Thomsen has some issues. Andy Kosick in third. Jason Green sitting in that fourth spot, and Chad Gross in the top 5 with 118 points. And there's the rest of the standings. We'll have updated standings for all of you next week or in 2 weeks. We'll let you know. But that gives you more incentive to hit that subscribe button on Slow Motion Broadcasting, because you'll be notified anytime that a live is going to happen here. And of course, we have multiple events here on Slow Motion Broadcasting. You can get your week started with us on Wednesday nights with Sim Racers Group at 9:45 p.m. Eastern in the Formula 4 car. And then Thursday, join Ron Mons and myself at 8 p.m. Eastern for the XMS IndyCar Championship Series. We're headed to another oval next week, so should be an interesting race this upcoming Thursday. Then the weekends, jam-packed full of racing. Saturdays at 3:20 p.m. Eastern, the Weekend Warriors in the Formula V get things started for your weekend. And then on Sundays at 1:45 p.m. Eastern, Ray Esports Racing in the Formula Ford. Then Sundays, again, Sunday afternoons, right before our broadcast here at 3:45 p.m. Eastern, you can catch the Weekend Warriors in the Spec Racer Ford. And again, all three of those series, or all three nights there, or all three races, I should say, very entertaining to watch. Great racing, great side-by-side battles. Highly recommend joining us for those. And then, of course, end your weekend with us here on XSLR at 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Next week, or in the next couple of weeks, we'll be headed to Pocono to wrap up Series 3 of season number 9. Josh, thank you very much as always. And thank you to you for all watching from wherever you are. My name is Adam Thomsen. For everyone here at Slow Motion Broadcasting, we will see you next time here on YouTube. Good night, everybody.